I want to bring you back to the school time. Do you remember that? Can you recognize you in the last row here? Do you remember the last time a mentor was able to induce in you curiosity? Remember when you were curious? Are you still curious? I hope so. You remember once you were in a place and somebody was able to emotionate yourself, bring emotions. If you want to educate, if you want to innovate, you need to bring emotion. And one aspect of inducing emotion is to generate passion. Jose Luis Pomares sitting there. I remember many years ago he showed me this picture about the Sagrada Familia. I was recently in Barcelona and I was watching the Sagrada Familia, and when I look at the Sagrada Familia, I can't stand. I see a mitral valve. It's almost a pathology, it's an obsession. I see mitral valves everywhere. Somebody has other obsessions. I have mitral valve. I'm a simple person. Now, if you look at the Sagrada Familia, Gaudí was inspired by nature. It's an amazing place to visit. And to some extent, I'm sure he was watching the mitral valve. You know, in life, nothing is new. Nothing is generated from nothing. You know, this was done already 600 years ago or more. Leonardo da Vinci was breaking the rules of medicine at that time. You know, at that time, knowledge was based on Galenic books. For 100 years, nobody would question the state of the art. Leonardo da Vinci wanted to go the next step. He was starting doing autopsies, trying to understand. And one day he watched the mitral valve, and probably he was inspired by it, and he described the mitral valve like a cathedral. You can see the pillars, the three navate, I don't know in English or in German. So this is passion, this is inspiration, this is curiosity, this is all what it is about. This is what we're doing today. And I want to talk about Leonardo just because, I mean, I'm not Leonardo da Vinci. I don't know if there is a Leonardo here. But Leonardo is for sure a genius. He described the aortic valves, the aortic and the mitral valves. He was able to describe the structures in a way that they are still today modern. Look at the commissures. We spent at least 30 minutes describing the commissures in one of the workshops yesterday. And if you look at these pictures, you see commissures which are perfectly designed, like in nature. But he went beyond that, and he was understanding function. Imagine the vortex closing the aortic leaflets has been demonstrated only 600 years later by MRI. And it was true. And you know how he got the impression of the vortex? By watching the river flow. He was building canals in Milano, and he was working on valves. He was closing the canals, and when the valves were opening, he was seeing these vortexes. So, genius, amazing genius. Leonardo da Vinci. In Italian we say l'uomo universale. Is the quintessence of Renaissance, which is, by definition, the biggest revolution in the history of humanity. Leonardo was a mix of everything. He was an artist, he was a painter, he was a sculptor, he was an architect, he was an engineer, he was a musician. He wrote a book of cooking, and he was visionary, he had visions, he was going beyond. Is it possible in life to have a new Leonardo? And what is the essence of being a genius? One day, Leonardo was a scholar. Even Leonardo went to school. So was Leonardo a genius, or was the environment that made Leonardo become a genius? Well, Verrocchio had a bottega in Italian, which is a workshop. And in this bottega, Verrocchio had a lot of different artists and philosophers and a lot of people. There was a melting pot of different skills. In the Verrocchio workshop, there was not only Leonardo, there was Botticelli, Perugino, Ghirlandaio, some of the biggest masters of the Italian Renaissance. They were all coming from this melting pot. So what is the lesson I learned from when I look at this? I see us. I see you. In this room, there are people coming with different backgrounds, with different skills, and we have a huge potential here. It's a huge potential which we really can change the world. Till now, we have been working in these parallel lines, like in a track, but in the horizon, they never meet by definition if we don't make some revolution. So I just want to share with you some of the pictures of an initiative that started a few months ago. It's a new idea. It's a postgraduate school for leadership in heart valve disease. And it's a school for physicians from different backgrounds who come to Zurich to become the next leaders. I just want to point out this picture where I see Thomas Modin, cardiac surgeon. I see Azim Latib. And I see Edwin Ho, a surgeon, interventional cardiologist, and echocardiographists talking together, preparing a talk, working in group. So what I've learned in these 10, 15 years, the only reason why I'm here is because I know a lot of amazing people. Today, the only reason why the meeting was fantastic, I did nothing. I just put the right people in the right place, you create the environment, and everything happens. Nothing was prepared. It's all improvised. If you let the door open to all the inputs, you can make the leapfrog. And why we need to do it now? Because we are in a time of big changes. And you really have responsibility. You are responsible for our future. There is a growing healthcare expenses problem. We're living in the era of chronic care. Mike Day gave this beautiful lecture at the school, and I think it was eye-opener. We live in a globalized world. Our competitors are everywhere. And we move fast. This is a map that shows the flights that every minute in the world are flying from east to west to north to south. We work in a high financial demand situation, which will have probably an input on us, on our decisions. And we have new players in the field: artificial intelligence, big data, blockchain, hybridization, regulated duty hours, increasing regulatory demand, rapid obsolescence of knowledge. So in this challenging environment, there is only one way out. I need your experience. You need to guide your colleagues, your teams, because only with this we're going to be successful. You need to be able to inspire them. Inspiration is fundamental, and you can do it. In this room, I don't see anybody who has not this talent. You need to inspire people and tell them that there is only one way to get the revolution. Revolution happens only when we can mix the genes. We need to mix our genes. And we need to work hard. Success is 90% perspiration. This is what we have to go back home and do with our people if we want to drive the change, and we can do it. And guys, I tell you, the future is in your hands, in our hands, in my hands. Each of us should say, it's in my hands. And life is beautiful.
Smile without a reason why. Love as if you were a child. Smile no matter what they tell you. Don't listen to a word they say, 'cause life is beautiful that way. Tears, a tidal wave of tears. Light that slowly disappears. Wait before you close the curtain. There's still another game to play, and life is beautiful that way. Be as close as you remember from before. Now that you're out there on your own, remember what is real and what we dream is love alone. Keep the laughter in your eyes. Soon your long-awaited prize we'll forget about our sorrow and think about a brighter day, 'cause life is beautiful that way. Think about a brighter day, 'cause life is beautiful that way. There's still another game to play, and life is beautiful